Retro. Retro.
G'day everyone, welcome back to the Late Afternoon Glass Off. My name's Finley, this is Zach.
Hello.
Zach, what's going on?
What is going on? We are just finalising our picks for Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, a little quick turnaround for us.
Very quick.
I mean, we're complaining, what about the crew that actually have to fly there?
Yeah, we just brought up Google Maps and it's literally the other side of the planet.
it's
22 hours or something.
It's quite far away, yeah. And there'd be some sore heads, as you've been sort of informed. Barramamir, after a famous back-to-back win at Pipe, has jumped onto, like you said, a 22-hour flight, and with a bit of a hangover.
I've got good intel that, Barron did manage to board his flight on time, although probably a little bit worse for wear from an alcohol-induced headache.
Yep.
But good on the lad, he deserves it. I don't
Yep.
think there's anyone out there who says he shouldn't be doing that.
No.
Especially at home. Good day to collect cans and bottles after that party, I reckon.
For sure. Good day to bail out of there as well, I reckon. Just get rid of all the head noise and straight on the plane.
Yep.
Bit of hair of the dog, maybe a little whiskey on the way over, and
A little whiskey neat.
yeah, just have it. But
Good on him. Well, he's probably already started spending his $80,000.
$80,000 US, mind
Correct.
you. But yeah, straight into, well, pretty much a pretty good place to spend $80,000 US.
I feel like that doesn't even get you much there.
No, it maybe it doesn't, but probably the most unique venue on tour.
Yep, it's a new one.
It's a new one. They have had the Surf Ranch in the past, which is Kelly Slater's. Well, they're both Kelly Slater's technology, but that's sort of his sort of home pool. This is over in Abu Dhabi, and you've sort of been doing a bit of digging.
I have been.
You've got
So this one's Kelly Slater's wave pool, but it's made in conjunction with Modon.
okay.
Modon's like a holdings company from the UAE, and they just make mega sick shit.
Right.
Luxury golf courses in Europe.
Yeah.
They've got a real estate spot nearby where it's just really nice houses and things. So I think that's the difference between this one and the Lemoore.
Yeah,
Lemoore is in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. It looks like shit. It's like a cow paddock.
Yeah.
And then they've combined, I think Kelly might have looked at it and gone, great wave, but the surround is shit.
Yeah.
So these guys have tagged along and said, hey, look, let's bring that technology here to the UAE,
Yep.
Abu Dhabi specifically, and let's make it a luxury experience for everyone, which they've done really well.
Yeah.
By the looks of it. Interesting. I'm not sure. Do you know if they're going to run it at night or during the day? Because the WSL World Longboard Championship last year was actually at night, so I'm interested to see.
It's a good point. I actually have no idea. I assume during the day because it's I mean, Australia's a pretty good market for them. It's going to be prime time for us over here. States probably not so much, but they can jam it because they had the Surf Ranch when it was midnight here, and it'd run all the way through the night. You'd wake up and it'd be finished. So hopefully for our sake, it's on it during the day. But I actually haven't had any intel on that. Not if you are just a casual surfer heading over there though. We'll get to the comp side of things soon. Not cheap, is it?
No, there's been a lot of stories around the costs involved at this one. It's not for your average punter.
No.
Sorry to burst your bubble if you're thinking of travelling there and you make less than $100,000 a year. I just don't think you're going to make it.
No.
Or you can, but for an hour.
Yeah.
An
Well,
hour max.
that's it. I did some digging around today on their website. They have the prices released. So basically, for an advanced session, which is the wave that you see on the event, I don't know. There probably is some slight modifications for the tour. Maybe I'm not sure, but it's pretty close to what you'd see that is televised.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
amount you're about to say.
Well, 3,500 AED, which translates to about 1,500 Oz, or 950 US for our US listeners. That gets you 90 minutes in the pool. You get 6 waves. Each wave's about a minute long, roughly, and it translates to about $250 per wave. So
you wouldn't want to know that before.
No.
Because when you go to stand up, that is a horrific thought.
That is like, imagine falling on your second or third turn and you're just going, that's $200 down the drain. Like
anyone who's an analytical mind, that is just literal torture.
head noise, like head noise city, you'd just be crunching numbers in your head, just going, what have I done here? Like,
Yeah, but let's be real. Like, it was always going to be that. I think your urban surfs are your more blue collar.
Yep, for
this
sure.
one's definitely white collar.
It is.
So we've gone through also what it's like to experience it not even in the water.
Yeah,
And that's pretty extravagant as well.
it is. Well, if you want a cabana for the day, just to put your head out of the sort of, not Saudi Arabia, but Abu Dhabi sun, 450 Oz, just to sort of cover yourself.
But I guess it depends where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If you're from there,
Yeah.
fucking hell, you sneeze that. You probably find that in like your dirty cup holder of your car where like a coffee's kind of dripped
sure.
through and your coin's like stuck on the bottom because it's just fused into one.
Yes.
It's probably in their Lamborghini or something and their maid found it.
Yeah.
So for them, that's nothing. And for crew, like in Europe, you've been to Europe?
Yep.
Yep. Fuck, what's it like when you go to the beach there? You got to pay 60 euros to get a bed.
Yeah.
And then when you sit on the sand, they're like, "No, we own the beach, and you got to pay for a fucking umbrella,
Yeah.
like 30 euros." So I don't know. It depends where you're coming from,
I guess,
and
yeah.
it depends on the demographic going there. But yeah, if you're blue collar and you're not making six figures, maybe sit this one out.
Well, and even you go, oh, like, we'll spend this money, we'll splash out, but we'll pack some sandwiches, just some little bits and pieces from home.
A little giddy go bag.
Yeah, you can't.
Nah,
It's
it's
like
banned.
it's like the cinemas. So you have to do some pretty high tech smuggling to get your food in there, but you're not supposed to have anything in there. They want you to buy something at the gift shop on the way out. They want us to buy all
The
your
surf
food.
station, they've called it.
Yeah, the surf station.
Probably more expensive than the station grocer down here in Lennox.
And you're not allowed to go in there unless you've booked a session.
I know, you're not even allowed to just walk in there and go, "Do I even want to purchase something?" Nope. You have to pay before you can even look at what you're buying.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you have purchased it, fucking good luck to you, because if you fall off, you're literally losing money by the second.
Fully. And it's funny, there's like a Cocoa Beach setting, which is like
I've seen, yeah.
Kelly Slater's like hometown, just famous for just being just
Shit.
slop, just absolute slop. And there's a Cocoa Beach setting for crew that like can't really surf. This pool is very close to the beach. It's probably a better experience for you to just go to the beach for
I
free.
know. They're selling the cabanas on the real beach, which is a stone's throw from the fake beach.
Yeah.
And it's probably got dribbly little waves. Like
Yes.
Complete wind swell.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's in the Gulf.
If you're on a big 10-foot foamy, sweet, it'll
It's
pick up
probably
anything.
doable.
Yeah, for sure. Save yourself, what? I think it was like 2,000 AED, so whatever that worked is probably about half, $1,000 Oz, roughly.
But have you seen the price of oysters if you want six of the bastards?
No.
If you're trying to get horny off oysters there, it's going to cost you $130 Australian
For 6?
for six.
What are they putting in them?
Pardon?
What are they putting in them?
Oh, I don't know. Probably gold flakes.
You'd hope so for that.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
But like we said, it's the whole nature of the whole country and
Yes.
that city specifically. It's famous for innovation. It's famous for being future proof.
Yeah.
I would love to take a bunch of like bogans from, South Sydney or something and just take them there and just see what would happen.
Just watch their brains just go, what is happening?
For example, like the coppers there are running Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
They're running GTR R35s, all like hypercars.
Yeah.
So fucking have fun outrunning them in your skid rig combo over there, because they're not going to do well. But yeah, Abu Dhabi, pretty crazy place.
Oh, and
Funnily enough though, this isn't the first wave pool.
No, I did see that too. Inform us.
They were actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the one in Malaysia, KL, was first or one of the first. Julian Wilson went there and he shot that in his movie.
Right.
And
Was
that
that the
was a
same one,
long
was
time
it?
ago.
Yeah, okay.
And then Abu Dhabi have their own, which is like a desert format, like the backdrop.
Yeah.
few of the young lads here went, and it was famously shot in...
Was that the one that Piggy and Zach went to?
Yeah,
I
they went
remember
with
that.
Matt Banning and Caney and stuff. They did a training session there, and that would have to have been 10, 15 years ago.
I remember that I completely had wiped that from my memory, but that was...
It's in a Dion movie.
Yeah, and it was just that wave, and it was sort of like, it had run, it just looked like a beachy, and it'd come into an end section pretty much. That
Correct.
Was it, hey? Yeah, I remember
Same
that.
as the Malaysian one.
Yeah.
Much cheaper, but less bang for buck.
I'm assuming still expensive, though, to go to.
I don't even know if it's still running. It probably would be.
Yeah. Well, this is probably going to put him out of business anyway if it's still going.
Correct.
But, yeah, look, different place, different wave. Still, though, same surfers. So we've kind of gone through, like we've touched on, you're looking for, like from pipe, you come here, you're looking for pretty much two completely different people to get results.
Yep.
It's couldn't be more different, actually. It's really important, like for us now, we're going to be touching on this as we go through our fantasy teams and our picks for the event. It's important to note you really need someone who's equally as good on lefts and rights, because they're both as important as each other in this. There's no, like, you don't pick your best two rights. You need a right and you need a left. Yep. So you have to rip both of them. And there's certain people that are really good on their forehand or really good on their backhand, and they lack a little bit on their forehand, or vice versa. So you've kind of got to go for a team or picks that are going to be equally as good on both sides. And also, the other thing, you really need to bring a point of difference. So for the guys that are just going to be doing their sort of trademark wraps and snaps all the way down the line, getting pitted off the end, finishing off with a little spinner, you're not going to excite the judges. You really need to add some variation throughout the wave, multiple airs preferably from start to finish, and you really have to be good at doing transitional maneuvers. So you can't just be doing a big air, taking a little bit of time to get back to your feet, because if you do take any time, you're getting left behind. That thing is a freight train and it just runs off without you, and if you get stuck behind the whitewash, you're not getting back in front of it. So
yeah, we spoke about that before. I think anyone who has their nose facing the whitewash for more than a split second is gone.
They're Dunsky. And they're, luckily for us, there's a few people on tour that are really good at the opposite. So at doing those really good transitional maneuvers, keeping their speed up and going straight into the next one. I'm going to go into my winner and my dark horse for this event, and they're pretty much cut from the same cloth. My winner is Felipe Toledo. We just did a little run through before. I think his results at the Surf Ranch are like second, first, second, third. He's got runs on the board.
Statistically,
he's going to do well.
He's going to do very well. And that makes total sense.
So I'm going to lock him in as my winner. And then I've also gone for another Brazilian as my dark horse, Matheus Herdy. Now, he's just been given a wild card into this event. He's incredible. He's had a few showings on the World Tour already, and as a wild card, he's made finals days on a number of occasions. Just incredible surfer, and like I touched on before, really good at doing those transitional airs and keeping his speed and going straight into another turn. And he's up there with Felipe. He may even be better than Felipe in terms of his make rate on airs. Those two are right up the top, and they land more than they fall, basically.
Yep.
But who's
like
yours? I'll start off with Zach's dark horse. He's just going to throw Felipe Toledo in as his dark horse.
I
Is
am
that right?
not. You have just grilled me for this, but Felipe Toledo is not going to be shown in my complete top to bottom fantasy surfer.
Wow.
And call me a fucking idiot now. I'll take it. But statistics have to shift at some point.
Sure.
There's been no stock that's just gone perfect for its home
Right.
run. There's always going to be a little bit of a dip, and this will be the dip.
So you're the bloke at the races that you see the $1.50 favourite, and you're like, oh, I reckon this 60 to 1 shot's got a bit of
100%.
value. Yeah.
Everyone loves the underdog, mate.
Yep,
Everyone loves the underdog, and in saying that, I haven't just picked a team full of underdogs. I've got some heavy hitters. So my dark horse is going to be Sammy Pupo.
I like it. And I tossed up with him too. I think he's very similar mould to Felipe also. go, though. What do you reckon?
I'm a little bit worried, though. He is nursing an injury.
He is.
Just got absolutely fucking flogged at pipe.
Yes.
So that would have to have been factoring in these last week or something. But he is going to, let's just call it how it is. This is a gentle wave.
It is.
This isn't a highly impactful wave. So I don't think that's going to play too much into that. So hence why I've actually backed him as the underdog. And then for my winner, I'm actually going to go Italo. I think when I think of wave pool, I think agility. He's fucking the most agile surfer on tour,
For sure.
arguably.
Yep.
He is just so quick. You look at his Instagram videos that he brings out at those shit water fucking Brazo spot. I don't know what it's called, but he's surfing 1 foot slop and it's just like high impact.
Yep.
I think that's him, and I think that's going to translate really well for this.
And he's another one. He's had results there and also really good at doing those transitional airs, keeping his speed up.
Really weird aspect to bring into it, but he feeds off his environment.
He does too.
And this is going to be, you have to buy a ticket to go in, so there's going to be some prince of fucking something there. It's just going to be, I feel like, we're not going to be there, obviously, but WSL didn't give us tickets. No. Apparently, we're not big enough.
Next year.
But it's going to be a really big spectator event.
Yep.
And I feel like he's just the one that feeds off that energy and is just going to go fucking another level.
For sure.
Some are going to sit and shit their wetsuit.
Yep.
He's going to embrace it, and I think he's going to kick ass.
And I'd argue as well of the entire tour, he is that guy that front-side, backside, I don't really think one's better than the other.
Nah, he's going to smoke both.
He's going to get 2 8s. He's going to get 1 8 on the right, 1 8 on the left, and minimum. And he's going to find himself into the semi-finals. I reckon he's a great pick. Women's. So I've gone a bit weird with my one. My dark horse is actually the same as my winner. So I'm just picking one surfer. Mm-hmm. I was tossing between this person and Katie Simmers for the winner, but I just think Erin Brooks for both. So obviously she did pretty terribly at pipe. Conditions didn't suit. Mm-hmm. Pretty much all right-handers, really fast, looked really tricky to surf on your backhand. She is probably the female version, I reckon, of Italo. So she's going to be...
Fuck me.
Yeah, well...
That's brave.
I reckon she...
Italo would love that. Let's send him a reel.
I'll tag him.
He'll fucking unfollow... He'll follow us just to unfollow us and say I've unfollowed you.
Not in terms of ability, obviously. There's a bit of a gap there. But in terms of...
You're going to have to... save this one for the viewers and the listeners. Save it, Finley, because fucking huge call.
I just think she's the quickest... She's the quickest lady surfer, I reckon, on front side and backhand, and she is equally as good on both. So her backhand,
you're right, but
really
keep
good.
Fucking Italo out of it, brother.
No, I'm happy to make the comparison there. Obviously, different ability levels, but she is the female version of Italo. I'm calling.
I see what you mean.
And she very good in the barrel, front side and backhand, which is a big factor because most of the time they're pulling in the end section, and I dare say there's going to be a few ladies that won't be very good at making their backhand tube.
It's an odd size barrel too, so honestly, sometimes the bigger the barrel, the easier. Yeah. When it's those tight, compact tubes, I think you're right. It's really going to expose someone who hasn't put the time in grabbing the fucking back rail and dragging ass.
And the other thing that's in her favour as well, which I just thought of, she's probably 5'2". I don't know what her height is off the top of my head, but these waves are going to look double overhead on her. Yeah. So chuck her in. That's my winner and my dark horse on the ladies' side. What about yourself?
For my winner, I've gone Caroline Marks.
Yep.
I don't particularly love her surfing.
Yep.
But she has had exposure to waves like this. She's done well in the past in a pool, and I feel like it kind of suits her surfing when she just winds up and smacks the backhand. And yeah, I don't know. Just to be honest, to pick the women's out there, it was really difficult.
It was.
We spoke about it off camera. We ummed and ahed for 15 minutes, and to be honest, the pools really suit agility, and sorry, ladies, that's where the women are slightly behind in agility.
Yep.
And that's not against anyone on the tour.
For sure.
But I think you're correct in saying that Erin Brooks, almost Katie Simmers, are the only ones with that rate of speed and agility that are really going to push it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I've gone Caroline Marks for the win. And my dark horse, which I feel good about, is Macy Callanan.
Yep. Okay.
I like it. She's done pool work before. She's done really well in the CT, the pressure and all that kind of stuff. She's obviously not on tour. She's a wild card for this event. But when I saw her name in the mix, it didn't look out of place. And when I saw that, that's when I went, okay, that's who I want to pick for a dark horse.
And she's another one. So she probably fits into that criteria that you mentioned before. Lacks a little bit of agility, maybe. Not the quickest surfer in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
But
she can put it together.
She can. And you might sort of think of her out at snapper or something, just doing big down carves and like big turns in her forehand. Her backhand's probably her strong point.
Yep.
So I think it's not out of place there. I think that's a good pick.
And for anyone, just to build on my point about women perhaps struggling more than the men at this, it's a fucking fast wave.
Yeah.
It's almost unfair how fast it is. Any minor imperfections in a turn, you're stuck behind it. We hear it time and time again from all these athletes that surf it. If you go too far back, it's going to leave without you, and your score, if you haven't finished it, is it can't be any more than a 5 or a 6.
Definitely.
Even if you've just done 2 fucking rodeos. So that's why I say it's nothing against women, obviously. It's just I think it suits the men a little more.
That's going to be the title of this episode. Zach writes off women's surfing, and we're just going to put it in big capital letters, clickbait the hell out of it, and get some views, hopefully.
Well, we're not MSN News, so it won't be.
No, it won't be, I promise. But no, we'll go from that straight into the fantasy now as well. So slightly different. Obviously, we have to go through and pick a men's and a ladies team. Now, we did a little shout out in the last episode for our top 3. I'm just going to pull that up because that was slightly incorrect. I think they must give you extra points if you pick the winner because they actually updated after the final.
Ah, right.
So still very similar, but just to get this right because someone else moved into the top 3.
They messaged already, didn't they?
No one messaged.
I'm guessing 4th went to 3rd and they were fucking angry.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I actually moved up, so
Oh, there you go.
I'm not into the
There's
top
motive.
I'm not into the top 3. I just moved up to 6th place, so give us even more credit. Bit of
Did
credit.
I move up?
I didn't check that, but it would have been hard for you not to move up based on where you were sitting, I feel.
I'm
first-
on page 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Take me too
It
long.
takes too long. It's a shame.
Andy Irvine, still first place. Paul Southern into 2nd.
Oh, Tull got shafted.
Tull got shafted. Your employer, Bowie.
Yeah,
moved
he
up.
did mention that, yeah.
He moved up into 3rd place, so we just thought we'd give him his flowers there.
Yeah, but he can't win.
Well, he can.
No, well,
He can, because, look, he's in it. He's in the mix. We don't know what the prizes are. Potentially some Billabong gear down the line. We're not sure. But
that's what I'm saying, he can't win.
if he wins the Billabong gear, sweet. That's on him. You guys are got to be better
It's
next
not
year.
happening.
So we'll go into our ladies first. I'll run through mine and then I'll hit Zach up with his. So my tier A is Caitlin Simmers. So she sort of speaks for herself. The tier A was a bit of a weird one as well.
We both hated the tier A.
Didn't like it at all.
I hated it. I
Tyler-
wouldn't have picked... There's only 3 to choose from. Molly Picklum,
And
Katie
Tyler.
Simmers, Tyler Wright. I personally wouldn't have picked any of them
No.
for the tier A. I would have picked perhaps 2 of them for tier
Tier B or whatever.
B, C, whatever.
Yeah.
But Tyler Wright is tier A. I can't see it.
I've gone Katie. She's done it right there in the past. I haven't put my times 2 on her though. I've gone for tier B. I've gone Caroline and Tatiana. Both, again, previously have had
Are
results
you
there.
looking at my answers over here? Bit of fucking cheating going on.
Well, this is where we differ.
So you write me off for my first fantasy, and then you just come and copy mine.
Yeah, we'll get into that on the men's side because I just don't agree with one of your picks completely. My tier C though is Erin Brooks, and she will have my times 2 on her. I feel like she's just going to win the thing. What's yours? Well, you don't really need to spin through it. You've gone the same top 3 as me: Katie, Caroline, Taddy.
Yep.
Hit us with your.
I've thrown
tier
my
C.
dark horse in.
Yeah,
Macy.
Macy.
I truly think she's gonna. Oh, man, I just see her going through the rounds. I don't know what the end will be, but I feel like she's gonna walk out of there with some cash
Cool.
and really piss some people off because I think wildcards do that.
Yeah.
Walk in, just fucking rinse everyone and go, laters, I'm out.
Yeah.
See you at the next stop? Nah, I'm going home.
Taking my cash with me.
Yep.
Who did you throw your ×2 on?
Caroline Marks.
Yeah, cool.
I truly think she is going to win that. Hit us with your tier A for
The blokes.
the blokes.
Again, I think we've actually gone the same with this, but there's
fuck
another
off.
section where it picks itself because the people in the tier A, they're not really people that I think are going to do that great, apart from these two. So Kanoa and Italo, we've sort of touched on Italo before. He's amazing. He's going to do well. And then Kanoa, really agile on his feet, really fast through his turns. I think he's a good pick there too. Don't really need to touch on that for you
I
either.
think just touching on Kanoa, I feel like he's a fucking jackpot about to pay out.
Yeah.
It's just this piggy bank, you've been feeding it, and you just can't thumb in another fucking 50 cents.
Yeah.
It feels like it's gonna pay. I obviously have no bet on this. I'm not talking literally pay, but I feel like he's going to get success very shortly.
Cool.
He's made a few errors, and I swear his surfing doesn't talk. He just makes these little errors that ultimately cost him heats. This could be the one.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I would it really surprise you to see him on the podium at the end? Not for me at all. I think he could be right up there. Tier B, I've gone for Philippe. He is my ×2 for obvious reasons. Ethan Ewing. Now, not a guy that is going to be doing those multiple aerials throughout his waves. He might throw down one right at the end, but his turns are undeniable. I don't think he's going to win the event. I don't think he's going to come first or even second, mind you. I do think he could very easily find himself in at third place though, just based on his turns alone. And he grew up North Stratty on a left. His backhand's incredible too. So you see him on his forehand most frequently. His backhand's really good too. So he's not going to have any trouble on the lefts. Griffin, he's another guy who's incredible out there. And then sort of a bit of a smoky. I left out Jack Robinson, who I was going to pick. I've gone for Joel Vaughan. Now, I gave him a massive rap in our sort of season preview when we went through all the rookies. His frontside snap that I was frothing over, he really projects into it and comes out at a lot of speed, and the timing is so crisp, throws a lot of spray. And I think this is a wave where having that turn where you can get in and out of it really quickly is such an advantage, and to make it look good with spray also.
As long as it doesn't look rushed.
For sure, but his timing is immaculate. Like, I think it's just going to look really good, and he's going to get down the line, and he is also incredible in the air. So wouldn't shock me to see him throw down a couple of airs on a ride too.
I'll take that.
Your tier B.
Tier B. I'm just going to rapid fire these three really quickly because
they're all the same, eh?
I have the same reasoning.
Yeah.
So Jack Robbo, Griffin Colapinto, and Ethan Ewing, arguably, they have the most experience at the Abu Dhabi wave pool.
Yes,
Ethan went over with DH early.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first athletes really to kind of go over and get in the mix.
Yep.
Spend some time with Cruzy.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Robbo is same. He's been there a few times. I know Ethan's been there a handful of times.
Yep.
So those three, I've got kind of boxed together. They're in that middle thing there. I want to touch on Ethan because you did raise the point that realistically he's probably not going to be punting at the end of every wave.
Yep.
Kelly Slater said something really interesting a couple years ago, and it was when the conversations were coming out about how the pool can be boring.
Yep.
Now, the pool can be boring for the intermediate or novice watcher because it starts to become predictable.
Yep.
But he said that's not his intention for the pool. He's watching surfers. It's a place where you can get the same wave, the same height, everything is controlled environment. So he was saying, I use that platform to really critique the small things in someone's surfing that you will otherwise not see in the raw ocean. So you're really touch pointing on the finer details of style, someone's agility, just all the things that aren't really talked about much. Technique's a big one.
Ethan has in spades. Yeah.
Flow's a big one. When you start talking about those key factors, Ethan Ewing is going to fucking skyrocket past majority of the people on the tour.
For sure.
So, yeah, ever since I heard that from Slater, he goes, it's an event for expert surfers to critique expert surfers, really.
Yeah.
Not saying that you don't have to be to watch it.
Yeah.
But
You really, like, once you sort of understand surfing at a high level, then you can really see what these guys are doing is special out there.
correct.
It's, and like we mentioned earlier, Ethan is a guy that without doing a single air this event could find himself in a semi-final finish quite easily.
Ethan may be the first ever winner of a pool without doing a substantial air. He might
Could
do
be.
one of those blowtails. He's kind of got those on lock,
Yeah.
but he may be that person.
Yeah.
And when it's slowed down, the camera angle's always in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he's going to shine.
And he just looks so much better than everyone.
Don't forget, Trilogy end section.
Yeah.
Fucking one of the best alley-oops landed in 2023 or 2, whenever the fuck that was filmed.
Yeah.
So he's got it.
He does have it. He just doesn't need to use it, does he, often?
I think he has it, but not dialed.
Yeah.
Not on lock.
Yeah.
It's something that he shouldn't really have to refer back to.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the 3. Sorry,
And-
going on a bit of a tangent
And
there.
then the other, you mentioned as well, though, like, experience with Joel Vaughan, just a quick sort of tale on him. He went over to do his little warm-up there, and he actually only got 3 waves, I think. On
Broken toe, wasn't it?
No, I think he sliced his hand open,
Sliced
didn't
his
he?
hand.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I think his brother's got a broken toe,
Broken toe
at the moment. But
in WSL World Finals.
Yeah,
Junior
yeah.
Finals, yeah.
so I think he tried an air on the end section and sort of like leaned back and put his hand out, and I think his hand just happened to meet his fin,
Yep.
sliced that thing open, and he got sent packing. So he actually hasn't had that as much of a warm-up as some of the other guys, but again, I'm just backing him to do well here.
He said he was just watching his waves go past and he was thinking, well, that cost me $100. That cost me $100. It'd be fucking torture.
It would have been.
You would have to think, though, a sliced hand, like fucking gaffer tape that thing and go.
Get back out. It must have been bad. Must have been really bad.
Well, I don't
Oh.
think he was medi-evac home bad.
I would have passed out for sure. I would have needed to go to emergency. I cut my hand at the point on a rock and I passed out. So I can't comment.
Fair call.
Oh,
Sorry, I've got one more to get through.
Oh, sorry.
One more for the Tier B, and it's Conor O'Leary.
Yep.
He just has that brute strength. One aspect we haven't talked about, this is a fucking long wave.
Yeah.
And there is going to be some people that will get one wave in and look amazing. Second wave, I really think fatigue's going to start to come
That
through.
lactic acid starts building up in the legs.
They're going to get time to break,
Yeah.
but it's a long wave. To put it into perspective, the size of the pool is 690 metres long from pretty much where the water starts and the water finishes, not the wave,
Yeah.
which is the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, laid down.
Yeah.
It's a fucking long way.
Ridiculous.
Connor's got tree trunk legs, and I think at all the other pool events, he hasn't been like the MVP, but he's been a standout.
Yeah.
So I've thrown Connor in there for Tier B.
And like spray wise, on his backhand especially, he's just gonna be sending forest up into the
Yep.
sky of water.
Yep.
Tier C. Now, Mateus picked himself for me. He is my dark horse pick. I actually think he could go as far as, again, a semi-final, maybe better. He's up there with Philippe. But the other guy who would not shock me if he's standing in at first place at the end of the day, Iago Dora. Shocking start to the season, actually dead last place. He would be fuming on that, and he'd be looking at this as a wave to just go, I'm going to show everyone what I'm made of, and I'm going to get myself back in the title race.
I have a theory about Iago Dora.
What?
I love him, great bloke.
Yeah.
Last episode or the episode before, I may have hinted that he may have been under the influence of the
Yes.
the Green Gorillas.
Yeah.
Maybe he was.
He might have been.
Nah, I'm only kidding. Wada would have him tied up otherwise. But I like it. It makes sense.
Yeah. He's a gun. I keep drawing back to it, but I can't stress how important this is. The ability to go right and left equally as well. He's another one. He's right up there. Very good on his forehand. Will be doing those sort of speedy throw tails and airs through sections and coming out the other side with more speed than he started with, which is so crucial. You look at the guys that we've gone through and said they're going to do well. There's one thing that they all have in common. They're all Brazilian, and they just tend to excel.
Fucking keen to get after it.
Yeah, they excel in these conditions. They're all really fast, and I think, look, both of my Tier C, I'm actually confident they're both going to get results for me. So this is an event. I'm sitting in at 6 on the fantasy page. I'm looking to go bit further up than that after this event. I'm pretty happy with my team.
This event, I need a result.
You do.
I'm dead last. Well, not dead last, but
You're 2 off.
pretty far. No,
Yep.
well, I'm second last.
Yeah.
So I need to really pull myself out of the depths of the hole I'm in. Tier C, I've got Sammy Pupo.
Yeah.
I've actually got him as my dark horse.
Yep.
And I've got Matthias Hurdy. Matthias Hurdy is just insane. Such a good surfer to watch. His vocabulary of maneuvers is insane.
Vocabulary of maneuvers. I love it.
Yep, thank you. Been working on my English.
Been working on your vocabulary.
Yes, actually, vocabulary, another good word for it is called lexicon.
Okay.
There you go, Zach's facts.
Great.
So I've been improving my lexicon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is insane. I love what he does. I think he's going to probably bring the variation aspect to the event.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see a lot of air revs.
Yeah.
And I think the judges are going to not reward it because they've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking alternative grabs need to start coming into these events if you really want to start getting those major scores, because let's be real, air revs were so Lamore days. And he's going to be the person to do it. I'm thinking Starfishers.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I'm thinking flips.
Yeah.
I reckon this
alley-oops.
event will see a flip.
Alley-oops are a really effective move on that end section.
Correct.
You've
Because
come
you
out-
start one direction and finish the same direction.
And it slingshots you into a big bowl. So
Yep.
it just really just gives you that pop. And if I had to bet my life on someone landing an alley-oop, I wouldn't go any much further than him. He'd be my top pick if they said, look, he's going to race this end section and do an alley-oop and he needs to land it, otherwise you're getting shot. That's my guy.
Toledo, Italo, Matthias Hurdy, alley-oop kings.
Yeah.
That's why Matthias is in there. Did you see the clip of him actually riding the reform of someone's
That was
wave?
skits. That was actually sick. Yeah.
I love that he's just out there, like, getting the most of it.
For sure. We might even, I'll screen grab that and I'll chuck it in here. But when you're actually surfing the wave at the pool, where it breaks on the main reef or whatever the
Concrete.
bottom, the concrete, it breaks on the main concrete and it's just a perfect running right or left-hander. But beyond that, where the whitewash sort of fizzles out into the rest of the bay or whatever you'd call it, it actually reforms up.
Well, that's where the what is it called? It's called the beach break.
Right. So it's a
That's that-
different section of
Just
the concrete.
complete whitewash
Yeah.
for your novice surfers. He
Yeah.
started surfing the offshoot of that.
Yeah, well, someone, I think it was Seth Moniz, was on the wave surfing, and the you'd be pretty spewing if you were Seth, because the camera just goes, right, just changes to Mateus
The
on a 1
cameraman
footer.
literally thinks there's more value in Matthias on a 1 foot wave
Seriously.
than Seth Menez on the normal wave.
Yeah, and you just see him, and he's just nursing it, and he's doing a couple less turns, and then he just gets going, gets the pedal to the metal, and does a pretty sick punt. He doesn't land it, but I hadn't actually
Well, he
seen...
doesn't land it because it's run out of fucking water. He must have hit the bottom pretty hard.
100%, yeah. But it's just sick to see him just going. He's at the pool frothing, just going, get me on any wave you can. Like, sure, it might not be my turn, but I'm going to sit off the side here and surf this reform and try airs. It's pretty sick.
Do you think he's even purchasing food or drink at this event? Because he did talk about the struggles of
True.
being on the Changa, and I looked at the Greek salad.
What's a Greek salad?
Have a guess.
Oh,
Greek salad.
I don't-
No. Before you answer, a Greek salad is something, man, you could make. It is not fucking difficult. It is tomato, feta, and lettuce,
Right.
and maybe fucking 4 olives if you like it.
I'm going to go, because I'm not a big eater of salads, believe it or not.
Oh, I fucking believe ya.
Not a big eater of salads.
Your common
Actually,
watering hole is a drive-through.
Yeah, well, speaking of drive-through, we still need to take you to the drive-through and eat your McPlants.
Hush.
We will get to that, but he leaves for Japan in a day or so, so I promise you we'll post it.
Hit me.
I'm going to say what I would pay for a Greek salad in this day and age, $25.
Okay, yep, it's 41.
There's no way.
41 for 3 fucking bits of sogginess in your bowl.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I don't think. Look, he's probably doing more financially well than I am, but I just don't see Matthias Hurdy having a Greek salad in Abu Dhabi.
He's unsponsored now as well. He's probably at home sort of shoveling 2-minute noodles into his mouth.
Correct.
Just filling himself up for the day and then leaving at various intervals to go and get snacks. I wonder if the pros are allowed to bring food in with them. Surely
There'll
they
be some
they'd have
major
to.
smuggling of like Maggie noodles in there.
It's just a kettle. Bring a kettle in your backpack and some 2-minute noodles.
It wouldn't surprise me if they have to go through a metal detector, but it's like a noodle detector or something. I'm not sure.
A noodle detector.
But speaking of, I spoke to Dakota Walters, and I don't know how true this is, but I take his word on it.
Yeah.
They were at the pool. No, so it was when he was talking to Joel or something when he was at the pool. Allegedly, there was a moment. This is the type of demographic of who's walking through
Like
those
the
doors.
caliber of people that are there.
Yeah, scary shit. They walk in, and there was this bunch of crew and personal bodyguards, and they're wearing the gowns, what the successful men, all of them kind of wear.
Yeah.
The traditional dress, the white dress, long.
I think it's their religion, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, and everyone looks the same, so it's hard to decipher. Is that guy? He's not wearing fucking Balenciaga or whatever,
Yeah.
so you can't tell.
Yeah.
Allegedly, all their phones went black, so that they could not record, film, or WhatsApp to all your friends and say this guy's here. Apparently, there was like a localized EMP
Really?
because of how fucking big this man was.
The Saudi oil merchants just rolling
They're
in.
everywhere there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I feel like it would be.
Jesus. Well, yeah, there's some incredibly wealthy human beings over there, so it wouldn't...
Do you know who's not going there?
Who?
The guy in charge of the Hooters at Pipe.
Well, hopefully no...
Did anyone pick up on that? The broadcast didn't talk about it. I feel like someone might have been in their like earpiece going, "Don't talk about
It's
the
like
Hooter
a-
that went off at 2 minutes to go."
It's like us when the dog walks in and we're just pleading ignorant to it. Just
Yeah,
going,
just,
hopefully no one notices. But yeah, I did actually hear that someone lost their job for sure.
You can't have the Hooter going off in a heat that happens to be a tie break
And a final.
and a final, and the Hooter just goes off. So yeah, that guy unfortunately has been made redundant from the WSL. He won't be at Abu Dhabi.
He's been given the flick.
He has been.
Well, there it is, guys. That's our picks. Men's, ladies, winners, dark horses.
One thing we need to discuss:
What?
the Surfline forecast.
Oh, yeah, and we're not... Thankfully for us, no need for that. Unless there's some kind of crazy localized...
It's going to be 15 degrees, and that's all you're getting from Surfline.
15?
15 at night, 26 during the
I was
day.
going to say, that's a bit cold for a desert.
Well, it is winter.
Okay.
A shift of season. I wouldn't
Sure.
say it's winter, but it is a shift in season.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think that's why the WSL longboard tour was during the night, because it was summer, and it would have been fucking stifling hot.
True. Maybe they'd keep him out of the sun.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Although right now, I actually heard the water can be chilly.
Okay.
Macy was chasing some suits, longer suits.
Oh, really? Like short arms or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
So I've heard it is quite chilly
Okay.
with the water.
So, yeah, you can... For me and Zach, what we can tell you, and this is absolutely written in the stars, this is happening. It's going to be 4 foot. It's going to be very minimal wind, and everyone's going to be ripping. So... That is the forecast. We know that to be a fact.
We don't even need to log into Surfline for
We
that
don't.
one.
We've just given it to you just off the cuff. But yeah, anyway, that's our picks. That's our dark horses, winners, losers, legends. I don't know. That's what we're
the
thinking.
wrap-up.
That's the wrap up. We're going to post this obviously before the event, and then we will be back for our review, possibly with Zach recording from some kind of sauna in Japan.
Onsen.
Yeah, from one of those
Webcam
things.
on for that one too.
Yeah. Yes. Bubbles and all.
Yeah.
So we will be recording our post-event review, how we went, how you guys went in the fantasy too.
Fuck, I need a result bad.
You do need a
I'd
result.
almost pay for a result at this point.
Well,
Like
I
a
don't.
paid ad, but for like to get up just a bit.
You could maybe look into buying someone else's account off them. They might give you their account.
Yep.
Maybe
Could do that.
Maybe Bowie will give you his account if you give him enough money.
No,
Or just
he
work
won't.
for free for a little bit.
True. could do
Maybe.
that.
But we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for listening again. And you'll hear from us within the next week because we know exactly when this event's going to finish, the 16th. So sometime after then. Thanks
That's
for
it.
coming. See you soon.
Arigato.
Retro. Retro.